don't let today be the day that I poke myself in the eye. Hey there and welcome to Real Chicks TV. I'm your Real Chick Carla and this is your home for all things beauty, makeup, skincare, fashion, lifestyle, all those girly things for the woman over 40. If that's you, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the little notification bell next to it so that you'll never miss one of my upcoming videos. And today is a really special treat for me, and I know it will be for you as well. I've told you in previous videos that I am doing a season-long collab, and we are having new videos every week bringing you a seasonal look. I'll have that playlist down in the description box for you below that you can see all of the looks, and every week a new one will be added. And we're doing this from October all the way to New Year. So you're going to get fall looks, you're going to get Thanksgiving looks, Christmas, winter looks, on up into New Year's Eve. So we have everything going for you for the season as far as your makeup goes. And today is such a special treat because I'm collabing with one of my favorite channels on YouTube, the Two Orchids. Woo! Lauren and Karen are the Two Orchids, and they are a dynamic duo, and I so appreciate the fact that they're a pair and that they're a team, because my channel actually started out as a team as well. We started out as a duo with my best friend Cindy, and the channel was called Two Real Chicks. Well, Cindy had other things in her life going on and had to leave the channel, and I carried on. So I definitely appreciate the fact that the Two Orchids are friends that are just having a good time with their channel, and I know that you're going to enjoy their channel because it's more than just a channel. It's like a TV show, really. They do everything from makeup to decor to recipes. They have a new series now called What's for Dinner, and oh my gosh, this pork dish that they cooked the other night looked divine. I'm definitely going to be trying that. So I'm a broadcaster. That's my profession, and in the broadcasting business we call a show that covers everything, kind of like the Today Show or Good Morning America or something like that. We call that a news magazine show. And that's the way I would describe the Two Orchids and their channel. It's like a news magazine show because they bring you a variety of things to enhance your life and bring some style to your life. So after you finish watching this video, be sure to head on over to the Two Orchids. Karen is doing a look and this week, and then next week I'll be collabing with Lauren. So because I suspect that Karen is going to be doing a warm look because those tend to be the colors that she goes to, and because I'm more of a neutral tone person, I'm bringing you a cool look. This is my version of a smoky, glam, vampy, plum eye and lip combo. I hope you like it. Let's get started on the tutorial. Okay, to save time, I went ahead and did most of my face so that it wouldn't be boring for you and there wouldn't be so much repetition, because after all, we are mainly focusing on the eyes and the lips. Those are the stars of the show. So we're going to focus on those, but I will tell you the other products that I did use on the rest of my face. For my primer, I used the NYX Pore Filler. Love this primer. I don't know why it took me so long to try it, but I absolutely love it. I love the slip that it gives, and I love the blurring effect. Also, I love how it just does indeed fill in those fine lines in those pores and gives you a much smoother complexion. So I use this. To prime my eyes, I use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer. This is a great eyeshadow primer for just a few dollars from the drugstore. Everything we're using today is from the drugstore. This is a complete drugstore makeup tutorial. Even the brushes are drugstore. This Photo Focus eyeshadow primer, oh my goodness, it grips. This grips like you wouldn't believe. Almost to the point where when I put on the shadow, I can actually feel it gripping. Not in a tugging way, but I can feel that it is indeed going down to its fullest, and it lasts all day. Great little few dollar primer here. For my foundation, I'm using something brand new from Physicians Formula. This is the Physicians Formula Organic Wear Silk Foundation Elixir with jojoba oil, and this is beautiful. Can I see what shade that I'm in? I am in Fair to Light is the shade that I'm using. This comes out with a dropper applicator, and it is very serum-like. It's very watery. And the first time I used it, I didn't like it at all. I used it without a primer and without any powder, and it didn't do anything for me at all. Then I tried it with different primers, different powders. This is a really beautiful foundation that does indeed have a silk-like finish, just like it says on the bottle. Something actually lives up to its name. Can you believe that? It dries down to a nice velvety, silky-like finish, and it gives a nice light to medium coverage. If you want just a little bit, something that looks very natural, you can use it that way, or you can build it up to a medium coverage, which is what I did today. The reason I'm using a lighter coverage foundation today is because we have such a dramatic eye look going on. We're going to have a very bold lip color. I didn't want cake face, so I'm using a lighter coverage foundation. For my cheeks, I use this blush palette quad from e.l.f. and I used this one right here, this plummy color. This is extremely pigmented, all four in this quad. All of these quads are great from e.l.f. And you know, the ones that come in the black packaging from their studio line, I'm telling you, for $6, e.l.f. makes some pretty decent makeup. And I use this plummy shade right here. Very, very little goes a very, very long way. I use just a little bit because, again, I don't want to overpower everything else on my face because we've got very bold eyes and a very bold lip going on. And I did find that I put a little bit too much. This, by the way, is the blush palette in dark. They make a lighter version as well. I did find that I went a little heavy-handed, so a little tip for you, a little trick, is just to take a brush and dip it in your powder and just go over it and blend it out with that powder. Or what I also do often is I'll put powder on my brush before I go into the blush, and that tones it down just a little bit and really helps you get just that nice flush and nice wash of color that you want. To contour my cheeks and under my chin, I used this e.l.f. contour palette. That's just the name of it, contour palette. It's not light or dark, it's just their contour palette. And it comes with two great highlighting shades. One's a shimmer, one's a matte. Then you have a color that's more of a bronzer. And then I use this one here to do my contour under my chin, my jawline, and on my cheeks. To set my face, I use the Fit Me powder from Maybelline. I don't know what took me so long to try this one either. I've heard everyone rave about it on YouTube. I love this powder. You would think this is a much more expensive powder. It's milled very nicely, goes on, it doesn't make anything crack or crinkle or wrinkle, doesn't settle into fine lines or pores, gives a beautiful finish. Really like this a lot. And finally, to set, I use the Maybelline Lasting Fix finishing spray, setting spray. A lot of people call this a dupe for the Urban Decay All Nighter. I don't know, I've never had that one, but keep that in mind. I can tell you that it's a very good setting spray. Does indeed make your makeup last all day, and it just keeps it on there really nicely. Nothing moves once you put this on. We have a gorgeous palette that we're going to use for you today. This is from Colourpop, and this is the Femme Rosa She palette. Look at all of those gorgeous colors. So many different looks that you can get out of this. We're going to be using all three of these gorgeous plummy shades. Aren't they beautiful? I absolutely love them. I'm using this very inexpensive brush from e.l.f. This is a crease brush, and these studio brushes with the black handles are great from e.l.f. I'm telling you, for an affordable brush, you can't go wrong with e.l.f. brushes. A lot of e.l.f. makeup, particularly their skincare, can be hit or miss, but I really like their brushes a lot, so I'm using those today. And I'm going in with this peachy shade here as a transition color. It's going to look really weird, and I mean really weird when we first go in, but it makes a great transition shade, and once we mix it with these plums, it makes like a gradient pink, so it's going to work out just fine. And I have hooded eyes, so I am taking it all the way up to my brow bone and creating a false crease. This is a great look for hooded eyes because you can do that. I'm not taking it to the eyebrow itself, just all the way up to the brow bone. And I'm winging it out just a little bit near my eyebrow. Circular motions, want to get that nice and blended. And I'm taking it all the way down to where my actual crease is so that we can get a gradient when we put that plum shade down. Wiggle, 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 work that in. I love Colourpop eyeshadow. I am addicted to Colourpop. They are super velvety and they blend just beautifully. And this whole palette, $16. $16 for this palette. What's not to love? It blends great, it looks great, the price is great. It's great! In case you didn't catch that I was using the word great a lot today. Apparently that's my word. Well, that's great. And I'm taking it all the way from the edge of the eye all the way to the inner corner down to where my actual crease is, and just a little bit on the lid. Pushing it in and swirling it in. Using another crease brush from e.l.f. This is the Detail Crease Brush. I'm going in with the darkest Plum shade. Loading up my brush, tapping that off. There is a little bit of powdery kickoff with these, so you do want to make sure that you tap it off. And now I'm going to come in and right where I wish that crease were, right where I want to create a fake crease so that it lifts my hooded eyes on the brow bone, I am just placing this down. It's going to look really weird. Look how weird that looks. It's going to look really weird and really messy, but I promise you we're going to blend it all out. Blending is key. Using the same kind of motions that I used before. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Now I'm pulling that up into that peach shade so that we create more of a pink. That also helps lift our hooded eyes by pulling it up. It's like an instant eye lift when you do that. Using an eyeshadow shader brush from e.l.f., I'm going in with this middle color here, and that's going to go all over our lid. Load this up really, really well. In case you didn't notice, I didn't put any concealer on under this eye, just in case we had any fallout, but I'm not seeing anything really badly with it. As long as you tap off your brush before you go in, you shouldn't have a problem. But if you like to put on your eye makeup first, or you want to put your concealer on last, gives you a little bit of, playing room there to where you can clean up if you need to. So this is our lighter color going all over our lid, and I'm blending it a little bit with that crease color. Taking my crease brush again from e.l.f., going back in with this very dark plum color, picking it back up, tapping it off. I'm going to go in right at the corner of my eye, and I'm pulling straight up to meet where we have it in the crease, or where we wish our crease was. So we're just meeting and going back and forth and meeting that up. Let's take a fluffy brush from Eco Tools and let's start to really blend and buff and fuse this out. This is not hard to do, but blending is key. It'll look pretty wonky if you don't blend it. I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to lie and tell you I haven't done it either. Because I have put on looks, this one in particular, where I thought I had everything down, thought I had everything good, looked in the mirror or went outside and looked in the car rearview mirror and went, oh my Lord, what were you thinking? We don't want to know, my Lord, what were you thinking day to day, so we're going to blend our little hearts out. Now the one thing that this palette is missing is a black, and I want a black to intensify that plum color. So I'm using another Colourpop palette that has black in it. You do not have to use this palette. You can use any matte black shadow that you have, surely in one of your palettes or in some of your singles. You have a matte black or a very, very dark shade that you could use somewhere in your collection. So that's what we're going to do. And I am using my color cleaner. This color cleaner sponge is awesome. All you have to do, if you want to use the same brush but don't want to have to go wash them and wait for them to dry, you just swirl this around in the color cleaner and it takes off the color instantly until you can give your brushes a proper good cleaning. Taking this black shade, just a tap, I mean just a tap of that black shade, rubbing it off, dusting it off I should say. We're going to go in that outer V, make like a backwards L, a reverse 7, whatever you want to call it. And I like to pat it in. I'm also pulling it up because again I want to lift those hooded eyes, but I also want everything to meet and be married and blended and just seamless. Taking that Eco Tools brush again, blend, 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 blend. If you want more drama, you can add more black. We're going to blend it out really nicely. I promise. Going back in with that Eco Tools brush, and we're just going to blend the heck out of this sucker. And that is pretty much that for the eye look. We're going to really finish it off and give it that nice sharp edge when we clean up with the concealer. I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows now. I have a $2 eyebrow pencil from e.l.f. and this is one of the best selling eyebrow pencils in the country, and there's a reason for that, because it is very, very good. So we're going to see if I can get my eyebrows to match somewhat today. Look like they're the least bit related. Sometimes they look like complete strangers who've never met each other before, but we're going to try today and see if we can at least get them to look like neighbors who like each other. Now, a trick for hooded eyes. When you come down here to the tail, instead of coming all the way down, that's going to pull your eye down even further and make you look more hooded and more droopy. So instead of coming all the way down, we're going to flick it out to the side just a little bit. Not a line. You don't want to create a fake line or a wing, but we're just going to come out and flick just a little bit instead of straight down. See that? Out and flick just a little bit. Makes a huge difference, and it's so subtle that no one would actually know you've done that, but the difference is remarkable. This is one of my favorite concealers, hands down. I don't care the price. This is either $4 or $6. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head. I will have everything linked for you down in the description box below, so all the products that I'm using today will be linked for you. And you always want to check out the description box because you'll always find coupon codes, discounts, and other offers that I have for you. So be sure you always check out the description box. But this is one of my favorite concealers, regardless of price. High-end, drugstore, doesn't matter. This is a ridiculously creamy concealer that's not heavy. It covers everything, and it doesn't settle into my fine lines and wrinkles, and most of the time I don't even need to set it, because setting is where I tend to get into trouble. That setting powder is what really makes everything look crinkly and wrinkly and make you look like you're the crypt keeper. At least for me, that's what it does for me. When that setting powder hits under my eyes, man, the wrinkles come out of the woodwork and I look like I'm 172 years old. So I love being able to use a nice concealer that works, that I don't have to set. So that's what we're going to do with this. Coming into the corner of the eye, just in case we got any of the shadow in there. Our corners tend to be dark as it is, so with this dark shadow, we want to make sure that we've got all that covered. See how creamy that is, how nicely that's going on. Okay, now that we've come down here to the tail, I'm going to pull this straight up, and that's how we're going to get that nice, crisp line. Just pull it straight up. You can use a brush as well, but with this pointed crayon, you don't really need to. And I'm just going to pat this in with my finger. Blends so beautifully. It works so well. Price is right. Winner, winner, winner. For eyeliner, I'm using something I just picked up from L'Oreal. This is the Infallible Pro Last Waterproof Eye Pencil, and the shade in this is Aubergine. That's a fancy way for saying a really pretty amethyst purpley color. So I'm just going to line underneath my eye with that. And I'm going to bring it up here to where the tail end of our eyeshadow is. Just flick it a little bit so that everything meets and marries. And I want to give this one more really, really, really good blend. So I'm using a Real Techniques brush. And the name of this brush is the Deluxe Crease Brush. But I use it because it's got such a big head on it. I use it to blend out with. So I'm coming in here with the corners and I'm just blending, blending, blending. Because we are going with such dark colors and my skin is so fair, any harsh lines are going to show up like crazy. So I just want to blend that out. And finally, to highlight our brow bone, I'm going to go in with this shader brush from e.l.f. again, and I'm just going to kind of mix these three shades No rhyme or reason. You just want a light shade there. Going to come in right underneath the brow bone or right underneath the eyebrow. And I'm just putting it in the center. And the reason that I'm doing that is because, again, with hooded eyes, by just popping it in the center like that, you are going to give yourself an instant lift and make those eyes look wider, bigger, and much more lifted and less droopy. And that's what we want. Before I put on my mascara, I'm going to do one more spritz of the Lasting Fix Finishing and Setting Spray. I like to put a squirt or two on my eyes just to make sure that eyeshadow is really, really set. I'm using two eyelash products today. One is the Essence Eyelash Primer. This is an amazing primer for $5. It's the best eyelash primer I've ever used, regardless of brand, regardless of price. It is the best one, hands down. It doesn't bother my sensitive eyes. And I have the tiniest lashes that you've probably ever seen in your entire life. They are so short and stubby and so thin and so fine and so blonde that it's almost a waste of time to do anything with them. This primer helps tremendously. So if you have sparse lashes, I highly recommend that you pick this one up from Essence because it works. Just gonna pop on that. And for mascara, my trusty L'Oreal Lash Paradise Waterproof in black. Time for the lips, and I am using a very bold lip color with this. I just really like the way that looks. I know our eyes are bold, but you know, it's fall. We're going into the holiday season as well, and this is a look that you can carry all the way from October to New Year's, depending on the amount of drama that you want. You could add liquid eyeliner, black eyeliner, and wing it out, and you could just, you know, really make this as bold and dramatic as you want to. But you can also tone it down. So if you want a lighter pink lipstick or a nude lipstick, go for that if you don't want your lips to be as bold as your eyes. But I do. So I am using two products. I've got a lip liner from Wet n Wild. This is the Wet n Wild Gel Lip Liner, and the shade is Plum Together. So I'm going to line my lips first. These gel liners are so smooth and creamy. Not only is this liner smooth and creamy, but I will tell you that it lasts all day. I mean, it is just a few dollars. It's from Wet n Wild. I'm going to tell you, back in the day, Wet n Wild was not my jam at all. I never in a million years would have thought I'd be using a Wet n Wild product, because back in my day, it was kind of dodgy. You remember then? Yeah, I know you do. And I was a makeup snob. I wasn't going to touch drugstore makeup with a 10-foot pole, but drugstore makeup has come such a long way. Oh my gosh, and Wet n Wild in particular has really upped its game. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to get quality products. And our lipstick, oh my gosh, this is L'Oreal Color Riche Matte Berry Pink. Take a look at that. Look at that gorgeous plum. I told you we were going for a plum look here, a dramatic plum look, and if that doesn't say dramatic plum, I don't know what does. So let's pop that on. And even though they're from different companies, look how perfectly that lip liner and that lipstick match up. And no Carla video is complete without a visit from the Hot Flash Fairy. Pardon me while I flash away and take my own personal little trip to the tropics. And just like that, just like magic, here is the finished look. I do hope that you like it. I had a lot of fun putting it together and playing with color. So in the comment section down below, tell me what you think of this dramatic smoky plum look that we have going on here. you like this look, be sure to give me a big old thumbs up. I sure would appreciate that. And if you came over from Two Orchids, I am so, so grateful to you for coming over and saying hello. I hope that you'll stick around, come back, hit that subscribe button, as well as hitting the notification bell so that you'll never miss one of my videos. I am truly honored to have collaborated this week with Karen from Two Orchids, and next week I'll be collabing with Lauren, so I get a double dose of the duo, and I'm so thrilled about that. And thank you ladies so much for being willing to work with me. It means so much, and I'm so very grateful to you. So after this video, be sure you head on over to the Two Orchids and check out Karen's autumnal look. I know it's going to be beautiful for you. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm Real Chicks TV on all social media, and I like for you to follow me there, and I like to interact with you there because I post daily on Facebook and usually daily on Instagram as well. So even though I only put up videos twice a week, I'm interacting with you daily, and the conversation continues over on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So be sure to follow me there as well. I'm Carla, and this is Real Chicks TV. Until next time, much love to you. Keep your head, heels, and standards high. Bye-bye.